He was a brilliant physicist, a wartime leader, and a man haunted by his own creation. J. Robert Oppenheimer, father of the atomic bomb, patriot, and a tragic figure in modern history. Born in 1904 in the bustling metropolis of New York City, J. Robert Oppenheimer entered the world at a time of great change and opportunity. His family, prosperous Jewish immigrants, provided him with a privileged upbringing surrounded by art, literature, and intellectual curiosity. From an early age, Oppenheimer's sharp mind and insatiable appetite for knowledge set him apart from his peers. He devoured books on science and philosophy, often spending hours lost in thought, pondering the mysteries of the universe. His parents, recognizing his extraordinary potential, encouraged his academic pursuits and exposed him to the vibrant cultural life of early 20th century New York. The city's energy and diversity left a lasting impression on the young Oppenheimer, shaping his worldview and fueling his ambition. Oppenheimer's academic journey led him to Harvard University, where he quickly distinguished himself as a brilliant student. He excelled not only in physics and chemistry, but also in literature, languages, and philosophy, earning a reputation as a true polymath. At Harvard, he was known for his intense focus and relentless drive, often immersing himself in complex scientific problems late into the night. His professors were impressed by his intellectual rigor and originality, and he graduated summa cum laude in just 3 years, a remarkable achievement that underscored his early brilliance. Eager to further his studies, Oppenheimer traveled to Europe, the epicenter of groundbreaking research in theoretical physics. He enrolled at the University of Göttingen in Germany, where he worked alongside some of the greatest scientific minds of the era. Under the mentorship of Max Born, a pioneer in quantum mechanics, Oppenheimer contributed to the rapidly evolving field, publishing influential papers and engaging in spirited debates with fellow students and professors. His time in Europe broadened his horizons, exposing him to new ideas and forging connections that would shape his future career. By the 1930s, Oppenheimer had returned to the United States, where he quickly established himself as a leading figure in theoretical physics. He accepted professorships at both Caltech and the University of California, Berkeley, inspiring a new generation of scientists with his passion and intellect. His lectures were legendary, filled with deep insights, challenging questions, and a contagious enthusiasm for discovery. Oppenheimer's reputation as a brilliant thinker and teacher grew, and he became a central figure in the American scientific community. Yet, as Oppenheimer's star was rising, the world around him was undergoing dramatic transformation. The 1930s were marked by economic turmoil, political upheaval, and the looming threat of global conflict. These turbulent times would soon draw Oppenheimer and his extraordinary talents into the heart of history. In 1942, as the world was engulfed in the chaos of World War II and the threat of Nazi Germany loomed larger than ever, the United States government made a fateful decision. They launched the Manhattan Project, a top-secret initiative that would forever change the course of history. This was not just another military operation, it was a desperate race against time, driven by the fear that Hitler's scientists might unlock the secrets of atomic power first. The stakes were unimaginably high, and the pressure was immense. The project was shrouded in secrecy, with only a handful of the nation's top leaders aware of its true purpose. Every move was monitored, every document stamped top secret, and every conversation guarded. The fate of millions, perhaps the entire world, hung in the balance as the United States embarked on a mission to develop the world's first atomic weapon before their enemies could. To lead this unprecedented scientific effort, the government turned to J. Robert Oppenheimer, a brilliant and enigmatic physicist. Oppenheimer, known for his sharp intellect and visionary thinking, was chosen to direct the scientific aspects of the project. Working alongside General Leslie Groves, the military head of the operation, Oppenheimer faced the daunting task of uniting some of the brightest minds in physics, chemistry, and engineering. Together, they would attempt to achieve what many thought impossible. Oppenheimer's first challenge was to find a place where this secret work could be done, far from prying eyes. He chose a remote mesa in Los Alamos, New Mexico, where he assembled a team of the world's top physicists, engineers, and mathematicians. These men and women left behind their families, their universities, and their lives, moving to a place that didn't even officially exist on the map. Security was tight, and secrecy was absolute. At Los Alamos, a new community sprang up almost overnight, dedicated to a single, urgent goal. Their mission was clear, yet daunting: to harness the immense power of nuclear energy before the enemy did. Every day brought new scientific puzzles and technical setbacks. The team worked around the clock, driven by a sense of urgency and the knowledge that failure could mean disaster. They experimented with new materials, invented groundbreaking technologies, and pushed the boundaries of human knowledge. The atmosphere was electric, filled with both hope and anxiety, as they raced to unlock the secrets of the atom. The stakes could not have been higher. The outcome of the war, and perhaps the fate of the entire world, depended on their success. As battles raged across Europe and the Pacific, the scientists at Los Alamos worked in secrecy and fear, knowing that a single breakthrough could tip the balance. The Manhattan Project was more than a scientific endeavor. It was a race against time, a battle fought not with guns and tanks, but with equations, experiments, and the relentless pursuit of knowledge. On July 16, 1945, before dawn broke over the vast, silent New Mexico desert, a group of scientists and military personnel gathered for a moment that would alter the course of history. The first atomic bomb, codenamed Trinity, was about to be tested. As the countdown reached zero, a blinding flash lit up the sky, followed by a thunderous shockwave that echoed for miles. The world's first nuclear explosion had just occurred, marking the dawn of the atomic age. Among those witnessing the blast was J. Robert Oppenheimer, the scientific director of the Manhattan Project. As the fireball rose, Oppenheimer was struck by the enormity of what they had unleashed. In that moment, he remembered a haunting verse from the ancient Hindu scripture, the Bhagavad Gita. "Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds." The words captured both the awe and the dread that filled the desert air, as the implications of their creation began to sink in. Just 3 weeks after the Trinity test, the world witnessed the devastating power of atomic weapons firsthand. On August 6th, an American B-29 bomber dropped an atomic bomb on the Japanese city of Hiroshima, instantly obliterating much of the city and killing tens of thousands. 3 days later, a second bomb fell on Nagasaki, bringing even more destruction and loss of life. The scale of devastation was unprecedented, and the world recoiled in shock and horror. In the aftermath, Japan announced its surrender, bringing an end to the most destructive conflict in human history. Across the globe, people poured into the streets to celebrate the end of World War II. There was relief, joy, and hope for a peaceful future. Yet beneath the jubilation, a new and uneasy reality was taking shape. The atomic bomb had ended the war, but it also ushered in a new era, one defined by nuclear anxiety and the looming threat of annihilation. Headlines proclaimed the arrival of the atomic age, and people everywhere grappled with the knowledge that humanity now possessed the power to destroy itself. The world had changed forever, and the shadow of the bomb would shape the decades to come. Though hailed as a hero, Oppenheimer was deeply conflicted. He believed Germany had surrendered before the bomb was necessary. He began to speak out against nuclear proliferation. He advocated for international control of atomic energy and opposed the development of the hydrogen bomb, a stance that would soon cost him dearly. In 1954, during the Red Scare, Oppenheimer was accused of having communist sympathies. A controversial security hearing stripped him of his government clearance. It was a public humiliation. Betrayed by colleagues and abandoned by the government he served, Oppenheimer faded from public life, but never from public memory. Oppenheimer spent his remaining years lecturing, writing, and reflecting. In 1963, President Lyndon Johnson awarded him the Enrico Fermi Award, a symbolic gesture of reconciliation. He died in 1967 of throat cancer, leaving behind a legacy that still sparks debate today. Was he a hero, a villain, or something in between? J. Robert Oppenheimer changed the course of human history, not just through science but through the moral questions he forced us all to face. In some sort of crude sense, the physicists have known sin. Like, subscribe and turn on notifications for more deep dives into history's most complex figures.